would you offer programs to the school systems in Tippah County? You've got the north and south. You got South Tippah and you got North Tippah. I don't know exactly what the numbers are on the numbers for the students, but that is our future, so to
Yes.
speak.
Yes.
What type of educational programs or how to get the word out to them, what's going on or what can be done? What types of programs would you set up and if you became elected sheriff for our school systems and
I would,
our young people?
I agree. I understand what you're saying.
And also include in that the churches. Our
Yeah.
churches are a strong focal point in Tippah
Yes, they
County that have a tremendous impact.
Yes, sir.
How would you incorporate that into, quote, your operation of the sheriff's department?
The way I would incorporate that would first of all, in Ripley, I would defer to the police chief in Ripley as far as Ripley High School. They've got an officer that's assigned to the Ripley High School, which we don't have in any of the other high schools. I'd defer and work with the principal at Ripley and the other schools, but as far as Ripley, that's kind of a special situation, and I'd want to defer to the police chief. The other Walnut, Blue Mountain, they don't have officers in the schools. I would make myself available to the principals, and let the school board know. I'm available to talk to students. I would bring in individuals that had problems in the past with drugs and let them tell firsthand where those drugs had taken them and the kind of heartaches they'd had. I'd encourage the teachers to start talking to the children about that. You know, it's never too early to talk to them about the pitfalls of drugs. I mean, third, fourth, fifth grade. You know, when I was your sheriff before, I had principals and teachers would ask me to come out and talk to students and talk to them about drugs and what to look for in drugs. I've had third graders raise their hand and say, Mr. Sheriff, is that stuff that Mom and Daddy smokes at the kitchen table? And
Is that funny smelling stuff?
yeah, and you know, and once again, it goes back to the home. I mean, it goes back to the parents. And I'm not slamming any parents out there. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying that as a sheriff, you have got to be available to every principal, to every teacher, to every superintendent. If they need you and you don't go, something wrong.
Okay. That is a big concern, naturally, our young people. One thing that has happened, like you said, sandwiched in between four lanes, and then we got one going right down,
Yeah.
busting down the gut.
Yeah.
But New Albany has, of course, taken over. I guess they've taken over a big portion of the beer sales in our dry county. You know, I guess that does that change the complex of shifting from North Tippah County to South Tippah County? Because you know, it's just as quick, or probably quicker, to go to New Albany than it is to go to Middleton. Am I making sense? Cause
You're making sense.
It's a fact. People go buy beer.
You're making sense, and I'm gonna step on some toes here.
Well, I probably just did myself.
I've always done that, and you know, I've always said, if you want to know if I done it or said it, just ask me. I'll tell you. We've got so many issues and so many problems facing us today, and we've had limited resources as far as your sheriff's department, your jail, your dispatchers, your funds within the county. We have more important things to concentrate on, and whether or not a man is going to a beer store and buying him a six-pack of beer and going home. And I know I'm going to take heat for that, but this is America, and if that's what you want to do, then I don't have a problem with it. I have a problem when you go get you some beer and you get snockered and you get out there on that road,
Right.
and you start running over our kids and our moms and our dads. That's when I have a problem. We've got too much more to worry about as far as crack cocaine, meth, bath salts, all these things that are killing our young people. And of course, there's always a problem with DUI. Going and buying a six-pack of beer and taking it to the house, I figure that's still going to be a grown person business.
And I don't think anybody would really argue that.
No.
But like you said, the drugs that are out there now were not
Yes.
out there 10 years ago.
Yes.
This bath salt, or whatever they call it,
Yes.
is something new. That's just been over what, the last year?
Yeah.
It seems like they create some kind of new deal every time they turn around.
Well, it's all money-driven, Lee Allen. Those individuals that are, it's like I used to tell some of the folks, you know, if we catch 1,000 users and that leads us to one dealer, that's okay.
that's okay, yeah.
And you got to understand that your users are addicts and they have a sickness, and never forget that, and try to help them as much as you possibly can.
One quick thing on, I don't know what kind of program you call it, but you can go by the jailhouse most any time and see people in orange suits. What is that?
I
guess I kind of
when I first took over
had
the,
a song out, if you can't trust a trustee.
yeah.
You remember that song?
I remember
think it
that
was
song.
Thunder Road or something like
Yeah,
that.
when I first took office, we didn't have any jail uniforms, and that was one of the first things I wanted to do. I wanted to be able to identify who's in jail.
Right.
And so I initiated a program where trustees wore solid orange, and other inmates that weren't trustees wore the orange and white stripes. So
Okay.
that's what that is. Trustees, that's just they work at the leisure of the sheriff. That's another thing. I put a lot of them out there on the road picking up litter, and I had an officer assigned to them, and I didn't. And this wasn't just trustees. I wasn't just let folks lay up in there on the hindies. Let's
Yeah.
get up. We're gonna go pick up litter on County Road today. But that's what that's about. Your trustees and your jail inmates.